Hello friends, today we're going to talk about a very important subject, and the subject is events. Events are ways in which you can take data that was generated on-chain and bring it off-chain. And why that is important? That's important because some data structures that exist on-chain are not very suited for us to build a very effective user interface for the users of our dapps. For example, I have this guess the number infrastructure that I've created in this smart contract, and several things happen in this smart contract that are quite important. I want to know if a new guess the number game was created. I want to know if the dice was rolled to get a random number for that guess the number game. I want to know if I've got an answer back from Chainlink with that random number so people can start playing with that game. And I want to know if the game was correctly guessed by someone or if the game expired because no one was able to guess the right number in a given amount of attempts. I could create some structures on chain to have this data, but it will be tricky for me. For example, the game creation action. If I want to keep tracking of my games in arrays, I might be able to just go and iterate over the array, but I might not be able to know in advance how many elements that array needs to have. And that's a trade-off that I cannot pay in this moment when I'm developing the game, because I don't know how many games I want to allow. And I don't want to limit my infrastructure to a certain number of games. So an array might not be a good match for this kind of structure. It's better that I have a mapping that allows me to dynamically add as many games as I need, but I cannot iterate over a mapping. Thus, I emit an event. And then the question is, how do I keep track of those games created to get kind of an index on a picture that I can iterate over to know how many games exist in my infrastructure? Well, I have to build a listener for that. And this can be done manually. I know how to do it in Python, for example, but it's a little bit tricky. It requires you to know about how to manage infrastructure, computer infrastructure, and it requires you to know how to manage some async operations in Python. You could do it in JavaScript, you could do it in any language that you want, but it requires you to invest time and to have the knowledge. There is an easier way, and that is Moralis. If you set a Moralis plugin for listening to events, you just need certain pieces of data. In this case, you need the address of the contract that you want to listen to, which I have here, one of my deployments. You need the ABI of the event that you want to listen to, and you want to have the topic of the event that you want to listen to. And to set up this listener, you just need to go to Moralis. Then after you go to Moralis, you go to plugins and you check the browse option and you will have this one. So if you want to install it, you tell the network that you want to have that listener on. I would choose Polygon Mumbai here. You need to have a description here. Let's say listen to game created. The topic, which is the topic of the event that you want to listen to. And that's nothing more than the event itself, actually, but without the name of the parameters, just the types. So very easy to build that one. You just eliminate the types, and that's what we have here. So I will copy my topic and take it to Moralis. Then you need the ABI. This one will leave for the last because we need to do some manipulation there on the ABI. Then we need the address. And the address, I have it here. That's the address of your deployment. That's quite easy to get. Now the ABI. The ABI is a little bit more tricky. you need to have this entire ABI copy, and you might need to go to a JSON formatter, copy your ABI, process it, and then from here you try to locate the event that you want to capture. In my case, I want to get this game created, and for that I will capture from here to here. I copy it, and to check that I copy a valid JSON, I just go back and generate again, and yeah, that was a valid JSON. So I can just go back to Moralis and paste it here. When you have all of this data, then you can just confirm and create your event. When you have created your event, you can go to your dashboard, and in your classes over here, you are going to see the table name that you assign for your listener. I call it Created Games Mumbai, and I can see here that it captured historically 3 games that I have created here, and it's everything ready for me. If I wanted to, I could query Moralis API to get all of these games and basically build a nice UI on top of it that can show people that is interacting with my dapp what games are available, what games were already solved, and what are the balances if I wanted, because I built in that contract all the functions to get that information depending on the game index, which I'm getting from here. So guys, this is something that might be a little bit tricky to do manually, but it's very easy to do with Moralis. I really want to encourage you to take a look at this functionality. This is Daniel. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Smash that like, subscribe to the Moralis channel, and come for more knowledge. See you in the next video.